All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Yeah! And we're filming. We're live on the internet, on the interwebs. All right, there must be some other event going on. Nobody's here. All right, welcome everybody. Oh, they're still getting coffee. Any newcomers here? First timers? At least one, two? All right, what you're going to see is two entrepreneurs that are starting their companies or have already started their companies and been working on them. And we're giving them 6 minutes to talk to you. And then we'll have 20 minutes of questions and answers where they can talk back and you can give them feedback, questions, ask them about things. And then afterward, go ahead and feel free to talk to them and let them know about your ideas or your comments or anything about their businesses. So to introduce our first speaker, Athena Christodoulou, she started this company at a startup weekend about a year ago. Was it about a year ago? And she's going to talk to you about Udorami. Or Udorami? Udorami. She will. Here you go.
Say it.
And I will.
You will cue it up. Hi. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm nervous. Okay. Technology, don't you love it? This is not going to work. Hold on. I'll get rid of my cell phone in just a second. Raise your hand if you have a cell phone. Oh, raise your cell phone. Smartphone? Smartphone? All right. You're carrying your digital world around with you. I'm getting rid of mine. And in that digital world, a lot of it uses bookmarks. Maybe. All right. Pocket for articles, IMDb for movies, Pinterest for photos, Amazon wishlist for things you find on Amazon. We're also social with our digital world. Snapchat, emails, texts. We use lists, and there are a lot of sites, I've only mentioned two, that are for list making. And they say they're for list making. For your work, for your personal life. Keep, Trello, Workflowy. A lot of them are trying to get a slice of that $43 billion e-commerce market. Things. And Amazon right now is the top of the heap. It's the gorilla. It says it's the universal wish list. But you can only shop on Amazon and put things from Amazon on that list. Hi, my name's Athena Christodoulou. And if you had been with me over a year ago, April 2014, you would have heard me pitch for a personal gift registry. I wanted to be that girl with that smile when somebody gave me a gift. I wanted to know that they knew what I wanted and would give me that. No more air compressors from my husband or boring socks, please. I made that same pitch to Jamie Corley of Ideas and Coffee in Southwest Cyberport, and she said, sure, I can do that in a week. It's been a year and a half. We both agreed that the best things in life weren't necessarily things. We didn't just want things for gifts. So we gave you the ability to add photos or your own thoughts and inspirations to your list. This is a sample list. It's a collaborative list. It's been made by several people in the group. It's added pictures, has links to URLs and things and places to go. We use what's called a bookmarklet. A Udorami add button. You press it when you're on any site. You choose the list. You choose the priority. Can't live without it, or you kind of like it. Make comments so you can remember later. And then add the item. It will appear magically on your list. Raise your hand if you know about WordPress. WordPress, oh, awesome. 25% of sites are built on using WordPress. Well, Jamie took it one step further. Udemy now has a plugin that you can use on your WordPress site. And you can keep your list, you can make your list on Udemy and present it on your site. And it would look something like this. This is our site. And if you went under List Ideas and looked under Curated Lists, you would see something like this. Click behind. This is an example. This is a Father's Day list I put together with some help. Each one of those goes to either a site, it goes to either the product or the site for the event. This particular one I did for my New Zealand trek. 10 minutes before I flew out of New Zealand, I uploaded some pictures, made a few comments on my Udemy list, and this is what it looked like for you. All right, it does a lot of things, but we don't want to be like this razor. There are other tools and better tools for cutting that chili. The other thing is, we think we're the Jill of all trades on the internet, or the Swiss Army knife of the internet. However, we know that means everybody could use us. And in the marketing and entrepreneurial world, that's death. We need to find our Swiss Army to try out our knife and help us develop it. We need to find our target so that we can aim and hit a bullseye. It works. That was last November. It's a place to organize your life. And last week I was able to give a gift to a friend's daughter who had just had a baby. And I knew exactly what she wanted because I sent her a Udemy gift certificate. She made a list, sent it to me. I got what she wanted. Harmonize your life with Udemy. I'm done. Oh, questions. That's me again.
You don't get to run away.
I don't get to run away. All right, any questions? Comments? Oh, wow.
Yes. Let it sink in.
Is this, so I've got this. So how do you make money?
Okay, how do we make money? Well, we use associate links. We're linked into 17,000 e-commerce sites via a publisher's hub. We haven't worked out all the glitches, but we've made a little bit with only a few users. Yes?
Is this a site similar to like Pinterest or one of those where you would have followers?
Okay, so is this a site similar to Pinterest? It's more like, I used to say Pinterest with a purpose, in that you're organizing for a reason. You've got all these pictures and comments and links for a reason. It's easy to use as Pinterest is, but we don't have followers. We can. As you can see, with the blog thing, we could easily have followers. You can have circles. The lists can be public, or they can be only for friends that you have in a circle, or only for yourself. Yes?
So if I understand what you're saying, Pinterest is for stuff I like. This is for stuff I want.
Pinterest is for things you like to see. This site is for things you want to collect for various reasons, for comparing products. Talia used it for lilies that she wanted to plant in her garden. I've used it to keep ideas for the solar fiesta that I'm trying to get workshops for. It's also for things. It is for things, but it does bookmarks to things, to any URL, any website. So an article, a review of a movie, any URL can be grabbed and put in a list. Yes?
How is the experience different for tangible goods, experiences, perishable goods? Like, if what I really want right now is a green chili cheeseburger, how is that experience different
I don't know how to answer that question. Actually, it is probably not for the things you want right then and there, because you don't necessarily put it on the list. If it's something you want right now, you just go do it. Just go get it. This is more for things, I'm browsing on and I see this book that I think my son would like to read. I'll put it on my list. I won't necessarily go right then and buy it and give it to him. This is more for that. Yes?
What if you end up with hundreds of lists? How do you keep that organized?
Okay, organizing the list organization. We have different ways of organizing the list. You have the option of doing it alphabetically forward, backwards, as well as when you put it in there, as well as, I think that's all we have right now, but if that becomes a problem, we will deal with it. Right now, I'm the winner list maker at 50 lists, and I typically don't have a problem finding them. Yes.
I was going to say this is a great idea because I always come up with ideas for gifts for people, but then when it's time to actually purchase the gift, like when their birthday actually comes around, I can never remember it.
Okay, so we have a winner here. She says that's exactly one way of using it. She said that when she's browsing around and she sees something that is a perfect gift for somebody, she maybe notes it in her head, but now she can note it with Udorami so that when it comes time for their birthday or Christmas, she can go back to that list and actually get that for them. It is available now. Go on udorami.com, sign up, and it just requires an email. There's no app. It is mobile ready. However, the bookmark is only available on tablets and PCs and desktops. You can do copies into lists and add items once you're in the list itself when you're on your phone. Yes.
I have two questions. First, what does the name mean?
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell everybody what the name means. All right. Udorami. Dora means gifts in Greek. So it literally means gifts between you and me. Udorami. Udorami.
And then I have another question.
Oh, yes.
Is there a way to check off an item on your list that you do purchase that gift? Then does it go into a completed list?
Okay, there is a way to check off. It's called a mark. And you can check off. You can even have, if you wanted 5 of them and you only purchased 1, it'll even keep track of that. It won't send it to another list, but you can edit your list. You can edit each product and move it to another list if you want to start a list of things I've bought. Otherwise, it's still all yours. Can you delete? Absolutely. Yes, Sonia.
If I remember correctly, let's say I'm looking for the best brunch places in Albuquerque, I can invite people to my list to add to it?
Yes, as far as inviting people to your list to add to it, you can make your list collaborative, and anybody in that circle that you've designated as being able to look at the list can add items to that list. So you can get everybody. I have an Albuquerque visit list, and all my friends are part of that Albuquerque visit list, and they can add to it and edit those items. Yes.
How do you spread the word that you exist?
Oh, that's what we came here for you. How do we spread the word? Right now it's been me talking to people and giving my card and showing people how to use it. We're trying to identify the market, and I think once once we identify the market, we'll be able to identify where to go. So if you can think of a starting market, please let us know. Yes.
A way of limiting your market a little bit is member satisfaction for companies always a tough one. To how to thank members that work at the company. And if you had this as a corporate site, your employees could go on and let you know what they like as recognition, whether it's a $10 gift certificate for shopping or whether it's a thank you. Members of corporations like different types of recognition. As a owner of a company, I typically don't know how to thank somebody the way they want to be thanked. So you might spin it off in that way on the corporate side.
Okay, so we had the suggestion that we go to corporations and let them have their company tell the corporate what they want for gifts and such.
What somebody in the back likes
Some collaborative lists.
$50 and you go out and surprise them every 6 months and thank them for what they're doing. They're actually getting thank them when they appreciate it, feels like different. Then you drive member satisfaction, which drives client satisfaction.
Thank you. Did you get that? Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Yes, Andrew.
Can you tell me how, what features on this I can use that might be better than Google Docs and shared Google Docs?
Okay, Google Docs is very good for making documents. We're very good for making a list. And I think that's our focus as far as how is it better. I think our button is easier to use. Again, I don't know if I'm cutting the chili or not. Yes.
I have an idea for the list for promotion. You just mentioned you have a list of places to visit in Albuquerque. I noticed that Newscasting just published a list that I think that Eric tweeted about the best things to do for road trips in Albuquerque. So I was thinking maybe some of your list would be Newscasting or that sort of thing worthy.
Okay, so you're talking media. Oh, okay. She was suggesting that we make this list available to places like Newscastic, so maybe viewers can add items to the list.
Just as when people find out about you, actually say this was created using Adobe. Here's a list of X that's really cool and exciting. That's an article on Newscastic and it was created with Adobe.
Oh, okay. So how to get us out there? I remember what it is. And I know Maida, so we'll get Maida to tell us again.
Have you considered writing a Google Chrome extension so you can just have a button that's added onto your browser that just says, add this to list?
Okay, well, you got me on the Google Chrome extension because I'm not the techie person.
It's just a web browser and you can add extra features onto your web browser?
Tell her your name so we can tell Jamie. Yes.
When I embed your list in my WordPress site, does it link back to you?
When you embed your list in your WordPress site, it links back to us because we are where you're making the list. Yes.
I'm wondering if you are spending money to spread the word or not, if you're prepared to spend money to spread the word.
Spend money to spread the word. Well, to be honest, we're bootstrapping right now, and we're using the talents that we have in-house, which is me being an organizer and idea person, and Jamie being a computer fantastic person, developer and everything. So probably the answer at this point is no, unless we get some outside investment. Yes.
Do you have metrics in place now to track device types, geographic locations, and kind of demographics?
Metrics, right now we have a survey that we ask our users to fill out and Google Analytics. Other than that, no. Anything else? Judy?
If you could get the URL with an E at the end, just for those people who spell it wrong. it might-
Oh. Okay, so get it with the E at the end.
Just very forward.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Have you thought about linking the little links, the share links that other people can include on their sites or on their products that says, put this on your Eudora list?
Okay, so that would be talking to the e-commerce sites and
Here's the link to include on your product so that they can put it on their list.
they can put it on their list.
They don't even need a bookmark.
Right. So, actually, I had thought of going to different e-commerce sites and saying, hey, you don't need to develop a wish list site so that somebody has to come to your place each time they want to look on their wish list. Get Udorami and promote us, and your items, your products can go on a list on our site. Yes.
You thought it was going to take a couple weeks, and it's been over a year. What has been the kind of things that have surprised you along the way?
Okay, what has surprised us along the way? That I don't know. I can't tell. Actually, what surprised me along the way is when Jamie developed the WordPress plugin, because that was not something either one of us were thinking about. She's really into WordPress, and when she did that, I don't think she realized how great it was, actually.
I had a question about, you mentioned, your participation in Startup Weekend. I'm curious, what do you think was especially helpful there, and, what other kinds of things do you think could have gone better?
Okay, my experience with Startup Weekend was awesome. I went there just intending to go listen and see what was going on. I already had another company I was really trying to work with, and then some inspiration caused me to go ahead and give a pitch. And I wasn't even picked to be one of the top 7 ones, but somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, if you want to do it, we'll work on this together. I have some ideas." And I learned about associate programs and bookmarklets, and it was great in that. I think, and I know it's developed better, we didn't quite gel as a team, and it probably would have been better if we'd had several people on the team, more than just the 2 of us. So, and the commitment, I'm sorry to say, I really didn't see the fellow very much that weekend, and I felt very alone. But I had great support. I had Steve coming by and helping me. I had all the mentors coming by and helping me. It was good. Christy?
So, you've had a few clients now. What are some of the favorite pieces of feedback that you've got, or where have you enjoyed their life?
Okay, so we do have some, besides that happy girl there, we have Heather, who is saying that smart families use Udorami. She was able to give her 13-year-old stepson gifts on his birthday that he wanted. And her mom in Boston now can be giving wonderful gifts to her twins here in Albuquerque because of Udorami. And she has her mom on there. I think she's in her 60s or 70s using Udorami. It's easy. Besides Talia here, who just took it for a storm. She's second, 19. Anything else? Please, anything else?
What has been your favorite?
My favorite part was seeing it develop. Actually, my ideas in place. I'm not a web app developer. I'm an engineer and environmental activist. So to see this idea go online and be live and useful, I tell you, my life's been great. And I want you to have it. Okay, William.
So one of the taglines that you had at the beginning was the best things in life aren't things.
Yes.
Is that part of the company DNA?
Absolutely.
Things and not things?
The other part of it is the 5 love languages. I don't know if you're familiar with it, and there's different ways that people hear love, whether it's things or spending time with them or words of encouragement. So we wanted to be able to include that as a gift and to be able to communicate with somebody, what really grabs you. So it's not all about things. Absolutely. Yes.
I wanted to share a little bit about what I have used it for. Almost no things. No gifts, nothing of that sort. I have used it for how-to videos. I was building a retaining wall. Had never built a retaining wall before out of block and mortar. Didn't know how to do it. So I researched it, and I used the list with a whole bunch of YouTube videos. I also put on all the different products on there, the type of products that I needed to use in my retaining wall. Articles that I wanted to read. Right now I also have it there's a bunch of online MOOCs, the massive online, open online classes. There's a whole bunch of universities, so I've added a bunch of those to it so I can keep a list of which university to go or which MOOC to go to check out for classes. The flowers, of course, those were things that I wanted to get, so those were items. Recipes and how-to cooking videos. Again, not things, but things to do, things to know. Well, I guess those are all things. Everything's a thing, but not gifts. It's far more than just gifts. You can use it for anything in your life. That's why we said it's good for the bookmarks. Instead of using the bookmarks to bookmark all those videos that I wanted to see, I used the list, because then if I was at the library or if I was on my cell phone and I didn't have my bookmark up on my cell phone, I could easily go and find those videos and check them out. And for Facebook, for sharing, our comparison to Facebook was sharing. The thing is that I just went to California for a family event, reunion, and we needed to find a beach house to fit all of us. Well, we could all collaborate onto, well, which one is closest and what sort of events do we want to do? So in addition to the beach houses, we were mentioning, oh, let's check out this place and let's go there and we want to see this museum. And so we were all adding onto this list, collaborating with it. It is an amazing tool that does so much more than gifts. That does so much more than just chatting on Facebook. That does so much more than any one of those items that we first mentioned. So
that was powerful, what you just said. It's almost like life simplified. Because
that's what it is.
I'm thinking about one.
That's another great line. Thank you. Life simplified. Life simplified. I use it to organize my clutter so that I don't have clutter. So that I got something. It's my bookshelf, and it's the thing that organizes everything. It is exactly what you said. Life simplified.
Every time I travel and I go someplace and I want to check out all these things and I have all the stuff saved on my desktop and I try and organize it all, and if you can put it all in one place like that.
Exactly.
Time for one more quick question.
Okay.
Well, since it's all about the organizing, we have a whole national organization in the country, and even locally, we've got about 10 people who are organizers and professional organizers, and they are giving people online tools as part of helping them to go into their houses, go into their offices, and organize them.
Oh, organizers.
Organizers. Okay, professional organizers. Okay. Thank you. All right, we have time for...
The question that we ask everyone is, what can we as a community do to help you right now or today?
Become a user and give us some feedback.
That's a good answer.
Can you post something back up on the screen that has the name of the company and something so I can take a picture of it and then I can post it on my social media? Thank you.
That's a little bit bigger.
Thank you. All right, and we have Eric with some announcements.
We're going to force you to do that, just completely off the cuff. So we want to thank our sponsors. So thank you to Sabio Systems, recruiting firm, great recruiting firm locally in tech and other professional services. Nick and Guillermo are actually in the room. Great folks. Nick's over there. Guillermo's in the back. Oh, we're flanked. So thanks to them, but we also want to thank Fat Pipe ABQ, really making things happen downtown. Lisa and Stuart as well. We are looking for sponsors to help continue to grow. We've got a great crowd. We want to maybe provide, well, we already do the coffee, but maybe some other services. We also want to thank Nick Lehman Media, Emergent Wave, Booyah Media, and C&M. And the quality of what's going on. And, not a fluke, another great round of another great cohort from ABQID. We're going to see something similar from creative startups. So I think, the momentum in the city is just amazing. Speaking of that, I'd like to talk about, there's a couple different events that I'd like to talk about, and I'll go through this pretty quickly. Tonight, I don't know, this is pretty much for a tech audience, but any users of Git out here? GitHub, Git. Okay, great event from ABQ Web Geeks tonight is all about navigating Git. So if you're interested in that, that's over at Red Door Brewing. I want to say that's at 6:30 p.m. And we'll post some of this other information over on our meetup group, which is 1MCABQ_meet. Or if you look at the meetup page, you'll find 1 Million Cups Albuquerque. I want to talk a little bit about what's happening a couple weeks from now. There's a combination of Tech Fiesta and a thing called Umbrella Week, which is really just an amalgamation of a ton of great events that are happening from all sorts of different people and organizations around town. I'm going to hit some highlights right now, but between the Umbrella Week site and the Tech Fiesta site and the city's abqic.com site, you'll be able to find more information on this. New Mexico Game Jam, if you've got game developers in the house, there's the return of New Mexico Game Jam. That's happening the weekend of the 11th through the 13th down at Mesa del Sol. On the 12th, you've already heard a little bit about TEDx ABQ. That's going to be an amazing event over at UNM. Buy your tickets now. In addition to that, 516 Arts has a block party for their new Habitat showing. They've screen printing, a bunch of crazy stuff that's going on Central that afternoon. On Monday the 14th, there's VR Cafe if you're interested in virtual and augmented reality. A bunch of folks getting together over at Stereo Bar. And also that night is built in New Mexico, a great way of getting together with local tech developers. On the 15th, Tech Cocktail, you've been seeing me post a bunch about that. Basically, we have an opportunity to get a couple of local startups onto a national stage at an event that Tech Cocktail is doing in Vegas this October. So I think we'll probably see about 6 doing something of a pitch event and mixer, and that's going to be happening over at Epicenter on the evening of Tuesday the 15th. Let's see. On the 16th, 99U. Is anybody familiar with 99U and Behance? We've got a total of 1 person. Can you explain? No, I'm just kidding. So basically, what it is it's part of a national event that's happening in all sorts of cities across the country. It's run by Roxanne and some of the folks with Creative Startups. And there's several different speakers who will be talking about enhancing your professional career in the design industry. It's going to be a great event. Let's see. In addition to that, on the 17th, Thursday, there's the return of Pitch Fiesta. So Athena was just mentioning, it's somewhat terrifying. You go, you don't think you're going to pitch, but really, there's just something powerful about when you convey an idea that you're passionate about or you really, strikes you and you're like, I'm not sure that anyone feels the same way about this. But when you get that response from the audience that they really like it and they're asking questions and they come up afterwards to talk to you about, I'd love to see that idea happen. That is an incredible feeling. You got something else on that? Sure.
It's only a 2-minute pitch, open mic, really easy to do, and there's cash prizes in a welcoming environment. So if you guys haven't applied to pitch, we only have 4 companies who have applied so far. Do that and get in. The room's almost full, actually. We've almost sold all the tickets to the event, so you're going to have a good crowd. But we need more pitchers.
Great. Excellent. Yeah, another great event. Yeah, so Thursday the 17th, Lisa and John Mirzwa, if you want a little bit more information about that. Also, let's see, and getting close to the end, but basically there's a Tech Fiesta mini conference that's happening the 18th and 19th. The evening of the 18th, there'll be a little tech job, sort of tech hiring event that's happening on the Lofts. Oh, yeah, I have to come back to tonight. Yeah, sorry about that. That will be happening at the Lofts, at the Bank Lofts downtown. It's a pretty sweet spot. And also that weekend is Tech for Justice, basically looking for developers and other sort of program specialists who can help build some apps or at least scope out the roadmap for some apps about domestic violence. And that's a really interesting event that'll be happening over at the Epicenter. One event I forgot to mention from a previous presenter. So we've got, hey, Stephen, what the heck is the name of that event that's happening tonight?
Film and Fashion Industry Night at the Q Bar. Tonight we're featuring a local fashion designer. She's 60 years old. She makes handmade lingerie, like really expensive looking corsets. Covers $10. Show starts at 8 o'clock.
It's a great way of getting people together from design, fashion, film, all sorts of folks at a great location. So tonight, and we'll post that on our page as well. I've taken up a ton of time. I'm sorry, Larry, you don't have any. Oh, no, I should hand off to Dara. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming here. And off to Dara.
Good morning. I have the pleasure of introducing one of my good friends and one of my favorite sports, soccer. In its second year, Albuquerque Soul was #1 for 4 weeks during the season and ended in the top 10 out of 65 teams. So I think they deserve a round of applause just for that. While it's the off season, doesn't mean they're not hard at work. So some of you know him as Lencho, some of you know him as Larry. I call him Lawrence, and he always reminds me that me and his mom are the only ones that call him that. So welcome Lawrence Espinoza from Albuquerque Soul.
Good morning, my friends. Very interesting to be back up here at this point of the season. Like to give everyone a little bit of a recap of who we are. First of all, who doesn't know who the Albuquerque Soul is or what we do? Okay, awesome. Awesome to only see a select few of you. That makes me feel good. So the Albuquerque Soul, we're a semi-professional soccer team here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our year of inception was 2012. We announced December 5th of 2012. So we officially have had 2 seasons under our belt. One of the things that we were told from the very, very beginning is that in order for us to succeed, because there's been several teams like this that have come and gone, whether it be in basketball, arena football, or even previous soccer teams. Back in the day, those of you that are old enough and are lifers here or have been here for a while, there used to be a team called the Chili's. I played for them. We had great ownership. Unfortunately, the leadership kind of took us for a downfall. So after, 15 years of being out of the game, I came back to my first love. Met a gentleman by the name of Ron Patel. Everybody thinks that we're brothers or that we've known each other for a long time. It's actually, we just completed like 2 years that we've known each other. And in that time frame, we've managed to start a team. And we've taken a team from mediocrity and have made it a success. Again, going back to what we were told that in order for a team to succeed in this environment here, you have to do one of 2 things. You either have to do a lot of really good in the community, or you have to put a winning product out onto the field. We weren't happy with 2014, even though it was our first year and we finished middle of the pack. We weren't happy. That was just from the actual soccer side of things. We managed to do a lot of good in the community, and we've continued that on to this last year. The things that we like to do, we dedicated every game to a nonprofit. So we have jump castles and a 50-50 raffle that we do, and we dedicate to one nonprofit of the evening. All the money goes to them. Our job is to not only build soccer in this community, but it's to build the community as a whole. That's why us Lobo, us Aggie fans, we have to put a winning product out on the field. For whatever reason, Albuquerque, I think it's like anywhere else, if you don't have a winning team out there, you don't get the support. So we do a lot to try to make sure that we've got really good players. We had 10 locals this year and 14 internationals, 2 Brazilians, 2 Spaniards, 2 Mexicans, a German, a Frenchman, a Costa Rican, and I feel like I'm missing a couple. But either way, the product we put on the field was fantastic. We're excited for our 3rd season. But one of the things that we've come to determine is that what can we do to get those of you that don't know us, those of you that haven't been to a game, how do we get you involved? How do we get you to a game? I believe it was John Mirzwa, back in the back. You had been to maybe 1 soccer game before in your life. We got him to come to 1 game to the Soul this year, and next thing you know, he had come to 3. We hooked him. That's what we need. We just need you to come out and experience. So we are struggling to figure out what it's going to take to develop the culture here. That's why I'm here. That's why we need people like you that believe in startups. Look at John back there. Yes, we've got our scarf. He's got his scarf on. Thank you. We've got a culture that we're trying to foster here. We're trying to grow, and we're trying to show that we can support a professional team. Our goal is that by 2018 to be part of what's called the USL, which would be equivalent to the Isotopes. It's 1 league below MLS. And then have this thing prepared for 2024 and make an actual run of having the first professional team in Albuquerque. Make a bid for the MLS. Whether they accept us or not, we can't control that, but we're sure going to give it the good old go. So, I ask you guys, what hooks you guys? What captures you guys? We've got some interesting things that we're doing to try to incorporate those that maybe haven't played soccer or know what it's all about. We have our first foot golf tournament, September 19th, out at Santa Ana Star. Yes, it's exactly that. You play golf with your feet. Play with a regular sized soccer ball. It's a 21-inch diameter hole, but it's a lot of fun. We managed to get a brewery on board, so they're going to do beer sampling. And we've got you get teams, you get the whole 9 yards. Yeah. 21 inches, you can do it. Yeah. No, the samples get smaller as you get further along. And then the next couple of things that we're working hard on is October 10th. Guys, mark that one. That's a Saturday night. We've partnered with the convention center downtown, and we're going to occupy all of Civic Plaza. It's the qualification game of Mexico versus U.S. for the Confederations Cup. It's going to be a free event. We're going to split Civic Plaza in half. We're going to show it on the 25-foot screen. We're going to have half of it with hot dogs, hamburgers, and American beer, and the other half with tacos, tortas, and Mexican beer. You see all of these other big cities, LA, Chicago, New York, with these watch parties where they have 10, 15,000 people in the plaza watching a soccer game. Why can't we do it here? So, it's a free event, but it's going to be something that we're going to really try to make a push and make a mark on. So, those are the little bits that we can use your guys' help on. But then I'm real curious to hear. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. You know, we've come to our full, pulling our wits out. We've done things differently in the fact that we've got things that some MLS teams don't have. We have a Spanish Facebook page. We have a Spanish Twitter feed. We have the regular Facebook and regular Twitter feeds as well. So we're doing a lot to try to incorporate and embrace who we are. So help me, guys, because you guys are the brains and thinkers of this place. Help me to think outside of the box, because in sport, it's often you get tunnel vision. Help us figure out what we need to do to kind of foster this culture. Yes, ma'am.
Are you using Periscope?
We do use Periscope. We use Periscope for pre-game interviews, and we've done them at a couple of the different events we have. That's a pretty interesting. I wasn't familiar with it, but my partner Ron Patel, who went and got married, so he's not here today. He found it, and we've used it, and it's pretty cool. Thank you. Yes, sir.
What's MLS besides local whiskey service?
MLS is the Major League Soccer. It's the top level of soccer in the country here in the United States. Exactly. Yep. You know what? I would absolutely love to do that. We'd love to do it for charity. I think it would be something absolutely fantastic. Getting the buy-in from those guys is a little bit tougher. We're the new kids on the block. Everybody, the biggest question that we got last year and we've continued to get this year, are you guys going to be back next year? So we will be back, and yes, that's a great idea. Nicole.
Congratulations to you and Ron.
Thank you.
How do you guys cultivate awesome, how do you guys work together? You guys are, I can just see you guys, your leadership is phenomenal. And as far as you guys have won throughout the season, how did you cultivate that leadership when you first met Ron, or how did you collaborate?
You know, it goes back to something that Gary brings up in every single presentation I've seen him do, is the why. Our why is because our job is not only to grow soccer, but it's to grow this place as a community. Sport does that. You know, you get, how many Broncos and Cowboy fans do we have here? Tons. But they believe in it. And our why is what we believe is going to get us to that next level. And we recognize our strengths. You know, Ron's a great presenter. He's not great under pressure. And that's where I come in. So.
I got a sponsor for you.
Okay. Absolutely, would love to talk about it. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. As coasters, yeah, we've partnered with Premier, who's the big supplier of Bud and Bud Light, and all of those things are being produced as we speak. They're going to be posters and all kinds of stuff.
Have you teamed up with like the kids soccer teams here in town? What does that universe look like?
We do. So every game we incorporate, we have a team of the night, which we incorporate them as ball boys. We also incorporate them, and they get to walk the players out. So it's a way to showcase your club and showcase your team. We offer ticket deals for them. But believe it or not, one of our biggest issues is we're facility challenged. And so we play out at St. Pius, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But getting a lot of these parents to come to the west side, even though it's not far across the river, still is an issue. So we've got a lot of things that we're working on to try to make that better.
Just what I was going to say. What are the chances of getting a game at Wilson, Millie, UNM, Charge, Isotopes Field at the end of the game and have a little scrimmage?
Great ideas. Big thing is a lot of people don't know this. For us to play in the league that we play in, which is the third tier of soccer, we have to play at a minimum of 66 yards wide. A typical football field is 52 and a third. So we've got 16 feet on each side, or 16 yards total that we have to extend. Milne doesn't support it. Wilson doesn't support it. Haven't talked to them at Isotopes Field. We've started to make a little bit of headway with UNM. If there's any UNM people here, Stacy Sacco, that can put the little pitch in for the Soul playing at UNM soccer stadium, we definitely would appreciate all of that. So, yes, Stacy.
Since you mentioned my name, just so you know, I did talk to Ron. I do know I head up the Small Business Institute for International School Management. Every semester we have about 15 student teams that go out in the community and help a particular company or nonprofit. You guys were selected as one of the teams that they're going to come talk to you guys. 3 students, you got them for 3 months to explore ideas on how to market.
We're really excited about that too. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Stacy. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Have you considered working at Special Olympics New Mexico? I know the Rapids do a sports camp, a soccer camp specifically with Special Olympics.
We haven't. It's now getting to the point where we can start being really selective in the nonprofits. The nonprofit, the prior 2 years, people really didn't know who we were, what to expect. They didn't realize that we would draw close to 1,000 people a game, so they wouldn't make time for it really. Now the list is getting long, so we can be a lot more selective. One of the things that we are talking about doing, and I'm curious to get input here, something that I thought about was the 2 most recognized symbols in the world are Coca-Cola and the Red Cross. So we're looking at doing what's called a pillowcase project to bring fire awareness with the New Mexico Red Cross to go into schools and actually talk to them about if a fire breaks out. This is anything that you can fit into your pillowcase is the only things that you can grab. So my idea behind that is you start associating a symbol like the Red Cross and you see the soul with it. It helps elevate our status to another level, hopefully. Yes, sir.
My granddaughter is 6 years old. Her name is Hayden. She's played soccer for 2 years. She went to a local soccer camp a month or so ago. And one of her instructors was a young woman on the Lobo women's soccer team. We went to the Florida State game a couple weeks ago, and when Hayden saw her coach on the field playing, she was excited and cheered for that player. Which makes me think if your players become guest coaches and youth soccer teams around town, I think you would have instant rapport.
Absolutely. The ones that are in town, we don't have a problem getting. The big problem is that out of a team of 26, 20 of them are either off at college or in back to their home countries. So that's part of our biggest challenge with that. But to let you guys know, with us going to USL by 2018, we're also looking at bringing a women's team on board too. So we're talking around Lady Lunas. So, you know, Soul, Luna, that whole dynamic. Zach.
Just to add on to his suggestion, I don't know if you thought about having players who do have access to, which sounds like not a lot, going into schools and doing some sort of, leave recess or something.
Yeah, we do some things. They'll be there offering to do mulligan kicks at the foot golf tournament. So if you guys don't think you can actually get it a particular distance, they'll be able to be there and help out. But yeah, they agree to help out whenever we ask them to. We just try not to call that in too often. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, how are you?
Very well.
So, question for you. Something phenomenal seemed to happen this summer in Albuquerque with Summerfest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, crowds were crazy, lots of engagement, lots more energy than I remember seeing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we can learn from what happened with Summerfest this year that we can apply back to the Soul, perhaps? I mean, I don't know what was different. I don't know if it was marketing. I don't know how the word got out, but I mean, crazy crowded, lots of fun, lots of engagement. It seems like the demographic that went to Summerfest might be the demographic that will go to a Soul game.
Great suggestion. I have no idea. One of the things that we did determine was kids are what make it. Kids are what make the environment. We know that if we get a 10-year-old at this point, by the time we go pro, they're in that 24-year-old range that'll come and participate as well. So we did kids under 12 got in free, and we knew that they would bring generally 1 to 2 adults with them. We sold more merchandise and we sold more concessions this year than we did last year. So something that we're going to continue to do. Yes, Renee. Great idea. It's kind of like that whole shrine circus kind of mentality. I don't know how many of you guys have been to a shrine circus, but kids get in free, and then all of a sudden you're walking in. My daughter's going, "Dad, look at all those bright lights and that butterfly and that." And $50 later, I'm going, "Yeah, thanks for the free ticket. I appreciate that." Yes, Nicole.
One more question. Are you doing any collaboration with the food trucks?
Yes. Yes, we had food trucks out this summer. We actually, is Mendez here? Robert Mendez from Carnivore. He came out to every game. He popped popcorn right there and mixed it, and you got the smell of the caramel and all of the different flavors there at the game. It was awesome. And then we had a torta truck. We had Rita's Ice. We had some different things there. And we're going to actually, I met a gentleman that we're going to start doing some beef jerky there as well. So, yeah. Yes, Zach. Okay. Crazy. So a typical USL PDL, which we play in the Premier Development League, a typical season's 14 games long. Okay, we don't think that that's enough. So we managed to play a second division team from Mexico this year, which we tied 0-0. They were called the Lobos WAP from Puebla. Great group, came up here. Talk about nerves. I hadn't seen our guys nervous all year long. They were nervous, and we went out and had a fantastic match. It would have been interesting to see what had happened had it not, the first hour hadn't been delayed because of rain. But we also have some preseason games. We also qualified for what's called the U.S. Open Cup. The U.S. Open Cup is a true there's no lines. So you can be an amateur team that goes all the way up and can win the national title. It's called the Lamar Hunt Trophy. So us as a PDL team, the deeper we go, if we get past 3 or 4 games, we'll end up playing MLS teams vying for the title. So, and that requires qualification. We actually did manage to do that this year. So that's going to be real interesting because we'll probably could end up playing 20 games in a 3-month season.
Sorry, but between the games, are players like practicing?
Yep. It depends. The weeks that we're home, practice is at 8 o'clock sharp every morning. 2.5 hour practice. Then they either go do weights or they go see the chiropractor or do whatever it is they have to do. And then in the afternoon, they generally have some free time.
So my suggestion was sort of dependent on that. And it sounds like it may not have a ton. But if there was a window during the season, if you have all the players in town, do a 5-day summer camp for kids. Players have another chance to make a little extra money in their pocket. Maybe there's another revenue stream for you, unless you're promoting it.
It's something that we'll think about going forward now because we can make our schedule where we play back-to-back home games and we can make a run of those where we can put something like that together. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Do you, the event that you're having at Civic Club in the U.S. versus Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
do you do any of those things during the season?
We try to, but half the time we do really long road trips. So we'll go to BYU and then go play in Vegas. And because of the way our coaches are, we don't show up on a Thursday to play Thursday night. We get in on Wednesday, generally about midday, go train, get a good night's rest, get up in the morning, go train, then go play that evening, travel the next day to the next city. And so it just depends. It can be, the road can be rather grueling. So, yes, sir.
So that you're here next year and advancing along your plan,
Mm-hmm.
what are the 3 biggest challenges you're facing that have to happen this year?
No. The 3 biggest challenges. One is facility. Us hopefully developing that partnership with UNM and being able to play there. Everybody knows where the Lobo men's team and the Lobo women's team play. To us, it seems like a no-brainer. If we could do a partnership there and sell a cross-season ticket that would get you into the Seoul, the women's games, the men's games, makes sense to us. Getting them to believe that is another story. In order for us to make it to the next level, those of you that have investor friends, this is where we need your help. Interesting story. When we started our team, the USL, the league above us, their franchise fee was $500,000. At the talk that they were going to partner with MLS, it became $750,000. At the actual handshake and the agreement that they were going to partner with MLS, it became $1 million. Then some of the PDL franchises started getting evaluated and appraised, and they were appraised at $5 and $6 million, so the franchise fee went to $2 million. So we're sitting on a franchise fee of $2 million, probably an operating budget of about $1.5 million. So as you can tell, we need investors. So, yes, sir.
Is there one person at UNM who is your roadblock? If there is, will you name that person?
We don't necessarily know that there's one person, nor would we say. That's just not the way that we operate. We try to be a little more diplomatic about it. But as I was explaining to Dara, do you guys remember The Price is Right? And that little guy that would climb up the hill and yodel all the way up? I will do that all the way up to the top until I stand there on that door and he gets tired of me yodeling. That's just the way that it works. So I appreciate that. And then the last thing that we need is exactly what I'm talking to you about, the culture. The culture becomes so important. I don't know if those of you have been to Portland or to Seattle or overseas to a Barcelona or a Manchester United. You walk down the street and you get that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm around greatness. And we want that here. We deserve that here. So the things that we're looking to do, like game day, what's more prideful than our flag? One of the most recognized state flags in the entire country. So everything that we do surrounds that and incorporates that so we can continue to create that pride and foster that challenge to move upward. So those are things that we're looking to do. So any other suggestions with that, we definitely will take them. Uh-oh. Fernando, dime.
With my baby small non-profit last year, we worked with more than 300 kids around the soccer. And many of them, they want to be a professional soccer player. And I am thinking the isotopes game, you want to do something for charity, could be one way to help each other. And on the other hand, we should start holding in their mind that they can be the professional players for 2024, right?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of cross-collaboration that's going on. One of the things that we didn't recognize or realize that by starting a soccer team, what was going to actually come out of this was 6 or 7 different business opportunities. And one of them is the actual creation of an academy. We're going to have an academy-like system that starts next year that will give supplemental instruction. It will be free. So what we're looking to do is eliminate the actual dollar from it. If you're good enough to play, then you deserve to play. And we will implement that and start creating our system that moves upward. So yes, absolutely, 2024 is the target, and there's no reason why any child that's playing soccer right now can't think of that they could play for the Soul by 2024.
So our last question for you is, what can this community do for you right now?
So what you guys can do for us, follow us on Facebook. We have very cool things that we try to post and try to be funny with. Follow us on Twitter. And then when you see ideas for this event, come check them out. Like I said, the one downtown is going to be free. But when you start to see some kind of the environment that we're creating, I think we're going to get a lot of really positive response from it. So, thank you guys.